Yo, what up guys, it's me again. I hope you guys saw my last video. If not, please make sure to check it out as well. So yeah guys, I worked on a track which I produced this weekend, and I wanted to show you how I made, for instance, the basis for this track, the pads, some effects. The basis, for instance, I made in Serum, so I'm going to explain how I made this basis in Serum and the effects that I used on them. And I also wanted to show my mastering chain, because I know making music isn't that hard, but to mix and master the track right, that's the most difficult thing about making music. So yeah, I just want to help you guys out, and I'm going to show you my chain. So let's listen to the new track. Okay guys, at first I always make a bass, so I'm going to show you how I made this Reese bass. It's just a normal Reese bass in Serum. So for the first bass I loaded up two saw waves, one normal and one analog PD synth. I pitched them down 1 octave both, and then I added a sub on them, and I pitched it down 2 octaves, and I put the unison on 7 to really get more like a rolling bass. Then for the LFO, I applied it to the cutoff, so the bass gets some movement over time. And I put an MG low 24 on it. Then I have a second LFO, and as you can see, these are the settings of the second LFO. I applied it to the level of oscillator A, and that's for instant, because here is the kick and here is the kick. So the level of the bass gets reduced when the kick hits. That's why the frequencies of the bass won't clash with the frequencies of the kick, with the low frequencies of the kick. Make sure with drum and bass always put your basses in mono over here, because if it's in stereo it gets a little bit muddy and it clashes with other frequencies. So yeah, as for the effects, I added some distortion, and you can hear what it does. The distortion makes the bass more present. It gets more like it plays in the mix if you distort it. And I also added a compressor on it, just a multi-band compressor. And I reduced the highs because I don't need it with the bass. So yeah guys, now I'm going to show you the effects of this Reese bass. So yeah guys, for the effects of this Reese bass, I added an EQ, and I cut some of the lows off because they are a little bit muddy. And then the second EQ, I cut off some of the high frequencies, which I automated, which you can see over here. So I'm going to show you guys what this EQ does over time. Let's see. So I added isotope trash on it as well, because yeah, that's one of the best basses if you produce drum and bass. It distorts basses a lot, which has a really cool effect. Then after the trash, the distortion, I added an OTT, because I don't need the high frequencies, so I can reduce it over here, and I only need the mid frequencies. As you can see over here, I put it a little bit up. Then, as I said, I added some sub frequencies with another plugin. It's a free plugin, 3OSC. With these settings, so it's just a normal sub bass, which I'm going to show you right now. So yeah, with this bass we only need the low frequency, so I cut it off the highs, and then I compress it to make it a little bit fatter. Then afterwards it needed a little bit more, so I made this one in Serum. So I loaded up some normal saw waves, and then I added these bits, so the 1, the 4th, and the 8th, and you get this kind of shape. Then afterwards I put this on Spectrum. Then afterwards I applied LFO1 to the level and to this knob over here, which gets a really nice effect. So yeah, it fills up a little bit of the highs, as you can hear, and a little bit of the mid-lows. So the mix is a little bit fatter and not that empty. So yeah, that's a really cool effect. And I'm going to show you the next one, which is over here. How did I make this cool sound? I loaded up some basic shapes and an analog BD synth, and I set the unison on 16 of both. And then afterwards I applied LFO1 with this setting on 2 bars. I applied LFO1 on the FM from A. And then the second one I applied it to the level and to this knob and to the cutoff, which it has a really nice effect. Then I added some distortion, delay, compressor and some reverb with these settings. And then afterwards you get this sound. Then the effects for this sound, I only added the paramedic EQ to cut off some of the low frequencies. And here you can hear what it does. For instance, if I didn't EQ this sound, then it would clash with the bass with the low frequencies. So make sure to always cut off the frequencies that you need of each sound, because otherwise it clashes and it will overlap with other sounds. And these two cool sounds, they sound like this together. And if I add the basses, then it sounds like this. Pretty cool, right? So yeah guys, after the basses I normally pick my drums, so I'm going to show you the effects that I put in on them. So yeah guys, all the drums that I picked it from the Monrroe sample pack, which you can buy online. It's one of my favorite sample packs. And they are sounding like this. So yeah, normally all my drums I route them to a drum bus. So yeah guys, I added a poly compressor on the drums, Suit 2, to filter out some of the harsh frequencies. Then I EQ'd them a little bit. So with the Pierce reverb I cut it off some of the highs to have a really cool effect in combination with the reverb, which I'm showing you over here. So it opens up. This one opens up as well. It's a really cool effect. This effect really adds some energy to your track if you want a drop, for instance. So yeah guys, that's it for the drums. Now I added some pads with Serum as well, which I'm going to show you. So yeah, the first pad that I made it in Serum, and I layered some notes over here. And this is the pad with these settings. It's really simple, just add an analog piece in, improve the unison to 16, and then apply the LFO to the level and set it on 2 bars so it opens up every 2 bars. The effect that I used on them, I only used in the paramedic EQ, and I routed it to a pad bus with a shaper box to form the sound a little bit, to have like a rolling effect. It's really cool. I use it in my drum and bass tracks a lot. So for instance, this is without the shaper box. And this is with. As you can hear, now your pad's really flowing with the track. So yeah guys, that was it for the sound design. Then afterwards I filled up the mix a little bit with some splice samples, which I'm going to show you. So yeah, I used these samples to build up some energy for the drop, which you can hear over here. So yeah, then I made a riser myself in Serum, which you can see over here. I added the C5 note, Yeah, it's just really simple. Add some noise, apply the LFO1 to the level of 4 bars. So yeah guys, then for the master I cut it off a little bit of the basses underneath 20 Hz. Then I added a fruity multiband compressor, and I like the warmer setting really much. Then I added a fruity multiband compressor with these settings. And I added an imager, which I always do with mixes to shape the stereo, it's stereo wise. Then I also added two to filter out some of the muddy bass frequencies. So yeah guys, then my master, I loaded up Paramedic EQ with these settings. Multiband compressor, ozone 10. I saturated some sounds a little bit, for instance the highs with some warmth, the mids with some gentle saturation, the mid lows with some subtle saturation, and the lows also with a warmth. Then I loaded up a SU2 to filter out some of the muddy bass frequencies. This is the first stage limiter. I gained it a little bit, and then I added some more gain with the Pro L2 from Fab Filter, which is really nice. So yeah, that's it for the master. So yeah guys, now the comparison without effects, it sounds like this. And then with effects, it sounds like this. So yeah guys, I showed you how to make this fire energetic liquid drum and bass sound. If you want to produce a song, start with either the drums or the bass, then add some pads and some high frequency sounds. And as for the effects, route these frequency spectrums to a bus to apply effects to all of the, for instance, the highs, the mids, the mid lows, and the lows. So the mix gets really balanced and doesn't sound muddy. I hope you guys liked this tutorial and learned something from it. Let me know down below what to make next week.